And so we're gonna remember that right side's together, and we're going to do right sides together like this. And we're gonna match our notches. So you'll see at the back, we have some notches. Make sure those match up. If they're not matching up, there's probably something wrong. And then the end of your placket, and this is why we needed to put the placket in before we actually did the collar, should match up right with that collar curve, that collar stand curve. And so that end part should match up, and if it doesn't, if it's way off, we've got a problem. If it is close, we can ease it in. Remember, we can clip and sort of stretch things around a little bit. And so I did the one side, now I'm going to find the other side. So these, both sides match up with either side of the collar. If it's really bad and it doesn't fit, you can also clip into your curve. You don't want to clip past your stay stitching, because that's the whole point of the stay stitching, is to keep it from really getting stretched out. But if we want to stretch it just a little bit, those clips can really make that happen. And that's kind of normal. Like, it's okay that something like a neckline doesn't fit in. Remember, we're taking a kind of a straight line and fitting it into a curvy line. Remember those little curve samples we did? Same kind of idea, where we're using our, the clipping to sort of make the fabric do what we want. We're in control of the fabric. So I'm gonna now sew this together, and I'm gonna sew it with the side, with the collar side up, so that I can move this around a little bit. Up to you how you really wanna do that. But I find it easiest to do it this way. And so I'm gonna start right at that seam line. So it's very important to try not to go past that, but also not to be too generous with it either, because we're gonna want everything to sort of fit in. It is a little bit awkward just to start. You kind of have to, move the fabric around a little bit and really try not to go past it too much. Try to get this all as flat as you can as you're sewing, and be careful with puckers. Feel it with your fingers as you're going along. And this is 1/2 inch also. Everything that we're doing today is 1/2 inch on the collar. If we get to the cuff, there'll be some other things, but just for here. So just as you're going, it's a good idea to sort of check, feeling with your fingers, making sure that this stays flat. If you get puckers, it's okay, but you're gonna wanna fix them afterwards, so it's easier if you can avoid them before you actually sew them, then you don't have to fix them. I think I might end up having a couple so that I can show you how to fix them. Again, not a big deal if you accidentally do get puckers. All this stuff is fixable. Same thing at this end. We're going to go right to that seam, but really don't want to go past it. It's a little tricky if you get close and you need to walk your foot. That's totally fine. Let's just check for puckers before we do our final thing. And I did not have any puckers, so I don't have to show you guys how to do that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to press all of this towards the inside of the collar. So we're going to press the seam allowance inside, and you might have to go around and clip it a little bit because you want it to kind of fit in there. And this is, again, a curved line that you might want to make sure stays curved and doesn't. And if it's too tight, what'll happen is you'll get little pulls. And you'll see it. It'll happen in other places too, like sometimes around the sleeve. So I'm going to press that inside there. And then I'm also going to, while I'm there pressing, I'm going to fold this up about 1/2 inch, basically to where it just comes right beyond that that stitch line. It's kind of like the Hong Kong seam where we were doing that, making sure that it's just past that stitch line. And then we're going to end up top stitching that. So let me just press that.